afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host from Pearl Dane, the one, the only Master Propaganda Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland, off to glorious and exciting 1v1 here on, you guessed it, it is the road to Tunis. In the West, it is Inverse, fighting for America, freedom, democracy, here with the 82nd Airborne Division, finding itself tasked with the not particularly thankful task of holding the assault here of the 10th Panzer Division under the command of Azakura, fighting here for the German army that they are marked. No immediate battle group choice here though, but we're of course with 3 open there. We got a Ketten card gun to start there from Azakura. Plenty of Pathfinders there from Inverse. We will likely be looking at 4. And of course, building initially as scouts, because at that point you get them at a 40 manpower discount. Well, not quite 40 manpower, that's of course still the reinforcement, but you still get them then at a 50 manpower discount in the end, which is, you know, pretty good, in particular how fast you can get them out. So by the time, you know, for example, Azakura has 1 Grenadier squad out, Inverse already has 3 Pathfinder squads out there. So that's kind of one of the reasons why this particular strategy is very powerful and very popular. Ken Krang North at Sea, catching the Ken Krag here. And these I know some people have been asking for more replays of it. It's just, you know, I don't get a lot of replays overall sent in, and the ones that do it, like, you know, don't always necessarily feature the strategy, or they got, you know, some issues as well. Like, you know, people don't actually check in the replays when they send them in a lot of the time. And so, you know, while they might have been exciting to play, they're not necessarily as exciting to watch, for example. There's always a key element there. We've got Pathfinder pushing force here. That's a total of 4 Pathfinder squads here for Inverse and the 82nd Airborne. Graham on the point of the Ketten card. Second Grenadier squad on the way there for Azakura. Pathfinder Graham's on the victory point. Peony heading for the munitions point here. Grabbing points here and there. Interesting enough, either this got hit by a harassment move or they got to connect it. And using Norfolk supporting the Ketten Krag there, hitting Northern Field Point. It's also just possible that Inverse just went for all the important high resource points and then just connected them afterwards, which is obviously not a bad tactic either. There you go, punching quarter with the 2 Pathfinder squads and force there with the rifles, quickly pushing back the Pioneers, who are absolutely outgunned and outmatched. So yeah, 4 Pathfinder squads versus 2 Grenadier squads. And in terms of DPS, like, the Pathfinder squad is like a bit below the Grenadier squad. Obviously, they don't have near as much manpower, but when you just get a lot more than the Grenadiers, that doesn't necessarily matter too much. So, good progress here so far for Inverse. 3rd Grenadier squad on the way here for Azakura. We got also here Breakthrough for the MP40s. Typically, one of the more popular Wehrmacht strategies at the moment is not going for Falchion Pioneer, it's going for a lot of Grenadiers into MP40s. So, we'll have to see how many Grenadiers to go for. 3 or 4 full Grenadier builds are definitely starting also getting more popular here. Particularly versus the Pathfinders, the MU42s are not popular at all, because the Pathfinders, besides the flares, have access to smoke grenades and rifle grenades. Being the MU42 versus Pathfinder builds tends to be of very, very limited utility. Moving in, to can't get around here, the Pathfinder sees Inverse goes in pretty aggressively here towards the center, towards the field point there. This is definitely allows here Azakura to flank around the Pathfinders, catch them on the retreat path, and definitely force Inverse into like a pretty, you know, prickly position. Like, either retreats now risks like wipes if he's not careful here, so. And here we got the Sniper, another part of these builds. Typically more popular versus the Wehrmacht than the DAC, because the DAC has light vehicles that can quickly hunt down the Sniper. The Wehrmacht doesn't quite have those. And of course, you might ask, why not go for a counter sniper? Because the Sniper can be supported by the Pathfinders quite well with the flares, the smoke, and all that. So that creates a lot of challenges here for the Wehrmacht to deal with an American Sniper under a lot of circumstances here. Pushing forward aggressively with the Grenadiers. We got the mechanized support center up. Of course, we like to be looking at the M16 anti-aircraft tough tech here from Inverse as well. Very much also part and parcel of these builds. That said, Azakura, despite all these challenges so far, has been able to, you know, get a lot of good map control in though. So, thumbs up there. The men are ready. 4th Grenadier squad there, and we do get the Luftwaffe company, which is very much also the de facto #1 build thing there for most Wehrmacht players after the Infanterie company, because, well, you get the Jaegers, you can go for the flak gun, you can also go for the 2-to-1 with the anti-tank gun on it to help, you know, deal with these particular types of builds. So it is very much the, you know, #1 choice here. And there's definitely an increase in number of like Wehrmacht players who go for these heavy grenadier builds with MP40s into the Luftwaffe Company, and then either Jägers, armored cars, or something else. So there's sort of a countermeasure sort of appearing here to hit back at these kind of builds here we are seeing from Inverse. Pathfinder Grenadiers, that's it, they're still very popular because they are very good. Make no mistake. Sniper them quarter Grenadiers, taking a lot of damage. Pathfinder to block here. Forced to a sniper to retreat here due to the sheer number of Grenadiers there with their Kar-90K bolt action rifles. And I imagine there'll be more MP40s down the road. Pathfinder squad routing, there you go, M16. Port-mounted anti-aircraft tactic out there. Ripping into the Grenadiers here. Half-check quickly getting out there before it gets panzerfausted quite aggressively. Still, Azakura exerting quite good map control here. Part of this, I would argue, of course, is the Kettenkrad a bit here. And there you go, Jaeger squad to help deal with the M16. Because the Jaegers will be a more mobile choice to actually hunt down the half-tech and finish it off. Panzerfaust there. Dodge, moving up again. This time the Panzerfaust goes off and blasts through the half-track. They want to pull back that Kettenkrad to the base, get repaired. Before doing anything else with it. There we go, Jaeger squad out, and we'll be looking at the Panzerschreck there, most likely, unless Azakura there's other plans. Meanwhile, Inver's just keeping up good pressure and momentum here. Of course, keeping the snipers screened by Pathfinders, so Azakura can't just run down the sniper or say creep up a sniper of their own close enough. Of course, up close the Pathfinders do absolutely lose their MP40 Grenadiers. Like, MP40 Grenadiers are kinda good. In fact, they're fairly good. They're basically sort of like light Panzer Grenadiers. Not quite as much DPS, obviously, but, you know, they can sprint. They got a pretty good grenade assault, but they can also heal themselves. They got Panzerfaust, they got Merge, so, you know, they do trade some of that firepower and durability away for just, you know, more utility. So far, not much else here, though, from Azakura and their battle groups. Now, they so far up to 1. A lot of kills there. Veterans 1, in fact, close to Veteran 2. Pathfinders have been forcing and healing. South there, Pathfinders being forced. Do we have a mine here from Azakura? The Schützenminus 42. Medics, they're busy picking up the wounded Pathfinders. Sniper 82, they're caught. They're taking a lot of damage. Jäger's pushing forward to the Raketen Panzerbüchse, which in terms of design was just basically a larger bazooka. The gun shield came about because while they did just enlarge the designs, it didn't quite work like the bazooka perfectly, meaning that the whole, you know, rocket would spit a lot of nasty fumes, which would always, you know, harm the operator. So initially they actually had gas masks and gloves, but they figured out they just added that little shield on the Panzerschreck, they would need those things. So there's a little fun fact on that one. North here, engineers for the flamethrower team. Kettenkrad's about to get wrecked. He didn't repair at all. Bit of notice, I would say, there by Azakura, but minor. So far, again, they are doing really well versus an otherwise powerful build order here from Inverse. Kettenkrad got knocked out. Got the support elements unlocked. Perhaps a Marder. Perhaps a Wirbelwind. We'll have to see. Most Wehrmacht players just never bother with the Marder, though. The Wirbelwind, of course, could also be a massive headache here for Inverse. We got the first paratrooper squad out here. We'll likely quit with the bazookas, because that is a very good upgrade in your 6-man squad. Grenade off there, killing Jack. South half to there, of course, just keeps up the pressure on Azakura and the Germans, the 10th Panzerdivision. We do have more MP40s being upgraded here for Azakura's Grenadiere. Panzerschreck fire there, wrecking the covers. Now they continue to push forwards there, pressure the Germans, and has an increasingly high rate of fire. So yeah, looks like a Wirbelwind here from Azakura. Will take a bit longer to get there, though, both fuel and manpower-wise. Got the quad half moving forwards. Raising ahead there for freedom and democracy. Now the paratrooper squad rubbing in here for Inverse. And of course, the reason he was just going for a lot of Panzerschrecks, I imagine, eventually, because, or bazookas, I mean, on his Panzerschrecks, because, like, you know, that will help, you know, curb against, like, any light vehicle rushes against his M16 half-tank or his infantry. So I do expect him to just go for a lot of those. Most American players will initially just go for a lot of bazookas when they can get away with it. Of course, the light machine guns are also really, really good. Blitzkrieg here from Azakura, so probably looking at an eventually push for the Tiger tank here. We'll of course have to see how exactly they go about with this. There you go, massive push here with the Grenadiers and the Jaegers. But of course down to spread out the infantry a bit more. Parrot was quickly dodging out of that one. And into the nearby house, there's the Grenadiers pushing forward. See a massive sortie from the 10th Panzer Division. 5th Panzer Grenadier Company, M16 flying away there. South here, Pathfinder the Pioneer. Wirbelwind out here for Azakura and the German army. Parrot being caught with the Jaegers and the Grenadiers here. Quickly forcing the Grenadiers, in fact, almost wiping out the unit. Got a bit lucky there. And Wirbelwind those rushing forwards here. No bazookas yet here for Inverse. Most players tend to be, I find, a bit more proactive with that one, but I guess Inverse wasn't expecting like a fast Wirbelwind here, and the M16 crew is just like, you know, completely stunned. My god, their guns are bigger than ours! Ah! So there you go, pushing back the paratroopers there with some serious flak fire there. Almost veterans one already. In the south, their points being grabbed. Up north here, men of the 86th Airborne tossing into the depleted Grenadier squad here, forcing Azakura to very judiciously retreat the Grenadiers. So, the question of course is, what will they do next? Push for more Wirbelwinds? Marders? Jaegers? I mean, there's quite a few options here to be picked here. As for Inverse, of course, there was a quick question, of course, besides just a lot of bazookas, how will he respond to the Wirbelwind? Will he just keep pushing bazookas? Will he go for airdrop anti-tank guns? Oh, we do get the motor pool, so he might be thinking Chaffies. That could also be a way of just dealing with that Wirbelwind aggressively and efficiently. Bazooka fire down the Wirbelwind. Good shot for the side armor. Pathfinder's pushed back here. Grenadiers holding up there. Motor pool right around the corner. There you go. Done. So, could go for anti-tank guns. Greyhounds and Chaffies. Again, versus the Wirbelwind. I mean, Chaffies would be a really strong choice there for Inverse. Sniper keeps moving away there at Azakura's Grenadiers. Push back here by the Pathfinders. But again, just continued strong map control here, but we got Bazooka teams going hard here on the Wirbelwind, doing a lot of damage, and we actually see Azakura popping Blitzkrieg. And an homage as opposed to Companies 2, where people also use this most of the time to get out of trouble. Of course, here it's a lot more expensive and also does provide some very good boosts, but yeah. Certainly better to expend 125 munitions to keep, you know, your 360 manpower 70 fuel unit alive. But it is definitely, like, pretty expensive to do there. Also, crucially, for some reason, they're rushing it down to the one Pioneer squad in the south here. I guess to get repair there, when it probably was smart just pull back the Pioneers and the Wirbelwind towards the base and maybe bring in another Pioneer squad to repair there. So, slightly odd choice, I'd say, there by Azakura. Very risky here. And Inverse is going for the tank depot now. Okay. Guess he had second thoughts about that motor pool. I mean, that's obviously shows, but yeah, slightly odd when their grenade assault here doing a lot of damage. Honestly, one reason I do love the MP40 Grenadiers is I really like grenade assaults. I think they're really neat. They're also quite good. Particularly have like a full strength Grenadier squad, you can get full 6 grenades out of it, which is a lot of bang for your buck. So your opponent like isn't retreating quickly enough, or just isn't paying attention, you can score a lot of damage in very quickly. It's also a great way for just clearing out a building. So there you go, the south being fixed up. Yeah, you can see there's the Pathfinders. Panzer, they're slowly wrecking the cover. Grabbing a northern point with the assault grenadiers. Only one grenadier squad has yet to be upgraded. Could also like just trade it up for some Jaegers. I mean, it would be a pretty solid idea as well there. People moving forward here, got the paratroopers that have been caught here. But there we go, a lot of bazooka final turn on the Wirbelwind.
The ability is ready.
And looks like to be another paratroop squad here from Inverse. Or is that an anti-tank? Oh no, it's the auto-reinforce ability, which is honestly very, very good at the moment. This is basically just circles around your area and reinforces all units in the area for free. Unsurprisingly, this is not very popular with Axis opponents unless you can shoot it down very fast. Oh, well, there you go. It did get shot down. I would not be surprised to see that one nerfed. And here, Azakura goes for a interesting choice. Another Wirbelwind flak panzer. Powerpound squad there. Ooh, grenades being exchanged in the Powerpound. We actually get away from that, impressively enough. And also that was a wasted grenade assault, I think. Sniper just keeps men away as Night Veteran D3. But they get a very high rate of fire. So double Wirbelwind here. Meanwhile, Inverse has got the tank depot up and is going for a Sherman. So with just one Panzer versus the Sherman, that's going to get really awkward here for Azakura. Of course, they're not aware of the Sherman yet. Yeah, double Wirbelwind and only one Panzer to support against enemy armor seems a bit ambitious. Of course, sometimes these ambitions can work out, but if they backfire, you're gonna feel really bad about it. Meanwhile, the paratroopers there are definitely getting absolutely shredded here by the flak failing mounting on the Wirbelwind. Sending one here pretty aggressively north on its own with like no support. This is a sort of situation where, for example, you know, a freshly arrived Sherman could exploit. What's going to bring up here could, you know, seize the point here, could lay down sandbags while doing so. In fact, despite having all these grenadiers, I don't think Azakura has like bothered laying down even a single line of sandbags. Which is at least one of the advantages of having so many grenadiers is you can lay down a lot of sandbags and a lot of barbed wire if you want to, but they don't seem particularly interested in that. Up north here, they show me how catching the Wirbelwind. Yeah, the chance of that Wirbelwind escaping and surviving are very limited, I think, here for Azakura. The best they can do, of course, is just deal as much damage to the Sherman with Panzerschrecks and Panzerfaust. Even got the Wirbelwind moving forwards here. Close to Vettini too, actually. Even the Sherman forwards here. Hold down to, like, maybe absorb some more damage and buy more time for the Panzerschreck and Panzerfaust team to deal with it. Great shot there. Of course, the Panzerschreck currently is way too accurate at long range than it actually would have been. Inverse here, though, of course, does realize he's kind of, like, dived in too hard here. And he's shown this bit of tough spot in there. Got gunners moving in. Could even sprint in with them here. Need it, but doesn't. And suddenly, Inverse Sherman is in a really bad position. Like, the engine is damaged. You got the Jaegers pursuing. We do have the other people in trouble with the bazooka team. But if you can get rid of the Sherman here, that's actually, like, pretty good for Azakura. Because trading a Wirbelwind for Sherman is not terrible. It's not great either, but it's not terrible. And that really puts Inverse in an awkward position again. Because that Sherman's like meant to like be in his big break here against Azakura's been always like quite able to like stall out Inverse's strategy and like, you know, put in a halt here. Wirbelwind doing a lot of trouble here. It is actually too, it's even popping here focused fire. Increased anti-infantry ability there. We got the full grenadiers, or the grenadiers here with MP40s holding up the advance here. Ripping through the paratroopers here. And looks like the Wirbelwind might actually survive this. Like, their paratroopers, in fact, could end up being wiped here. No, looks like they do escape as well here, but this is like some really intense stuff. And they get past the grenadiers as well here. Yes, they do. That is really lucky there for Inverse. That's lucky for that guy. But yeah, it looks like Azakura's plan is just at this point to stall for a Tiger tank. Which, I mean, considering everything else, isn't like a bad idea at all. They also got all 3 victory points. They're going for another Jaeger squad, probably help stall out. We got more airdropped here. I'm guessing more paratroopers on anti-tank gun. It is more paratroopers. I would probably recommend some light machine guns rather than bazookas, because right now one issue with that inverse strategy right now is it's very focused on murdering, like, vehicles. Like, there's so many bazookas. Yeah, he's going for more bazookas there, which means, of course, he's going to be able to, like, do some damage to the Vibavent and a potential Tiger tank, but he's then very, very reliant on the sniper to, like, deal the mainstay of his damage versus infantry, because the Pathfinders, again, versus regular Grenadiers are alright. The problem is versus MP40 Grenadiers and, Jaegers, they kind of run into some issues. Again, the Parrots again who definitely perform well, even though the bazookas and infantry. I mean, again, when they're up against MP40 Grenadiers, they kind of fall a bit short in the longer run here. Like, the only way this isn't going worse is because A, he hasn't, I think, researched the infantry company officer quarters, or upgrade the last squad here with them. Grenade off here, so there's definitely, I think, some gaps in inverse versus force composition versus Azakura. And this is where having some light machine gun Parrots would think would have done quite well for inverse. But I don't blame him for, like, wanting A, that people have been dead, and probably, starting to get fairly concerned about a potential Tiger tank, because, I mean, that Tiger tank is coming. Make no mistake, that Tiger tank is coming. Pushing in with the Vibavent here, straight into the bazooka teams. A lot of damaging fixed in that one Vibavent. A lot of damage there to the Vibavent. We've got the Jaegers moving up with their Panzerschreck. Got the second Panzerschreck team ready. Clearly concerned about potential more tanks before the Tiger hits. Grenade assault here. Oh! Yeah, they're dead. Did you see that? Yeah, all it said blood, it flew out. Ach, my God, I'm gonna need therapy after this. Therapy in the Third Reich. Ach, mein Gott, Ludwig. You're so naive. But yeah, grenade assault's pretty great. As I'm sure these paratroopers can attest to. North here, and this is the Pathfinders here. There we go, Tiger tank lined up. Manpower wise, they're close. Fuel wise, they're pretty much already there. Sniper though just still at it, like absolutely just a murdering machine there. Flanking around here, could transit up maybe for a grenade assault there. We got 318 versus 70. Inverse is down to run out victory. There go grenade assault off. Some poor bastard got murdered there as well. Gonna use again versus the paratroopers. Quick grenade here. Pineapple off. Just retreats here. Interesting. Perhaps there's a misclick though. Does happen. The other end almost fixed up. Tiger tank very close. I would probably at this point just suggest disabling auto reinforce so you can get out the Tiger tank just a wee bit faster here versus inverse. And we got another showing away there for inverse. Freedom and democracy.
Infantry can initiate breakthrough.
Steady advancing across the front line there from inverse across the center. Also worth noting, Azakura's been like doing pretty good, like focusing more on the sides of the map and not getting too sucked into the center of the map here versus inverse a lot of the time. There goes second Sherman out. South here we got the bazooka paratroop troop probably with the Vibavent there, which is actually starting to get close to Destiny 3. There you go, heavy cover, plus Sherman around from the other side. I think there's a good chance here that once more there's going to be lost to Vibavent because Azakura just plays them very aggressively and crucially ensures there is no infantry support. So there's a nice kill here for inverse. And getting rid of that Vibavent is going to be a huge relief here for inverse. Huge. Of course, less relief is going to be from those Panzerschrecks and the Sherman. North Union guns pushing forwards here. Parrots with the depleted. Again, they just struggle against upgraded grenadiers at close range. So there is a definite, shall I say, force capability gap here for inverse with the kind of build he's going for. I mean, again, it's clearly good, but if your opponent does find one of those, shall I say, specific counters to it, you do run into some issues. Oh, they're about to get the Sherman Panther fast here, right as the Panzerschrecks go for it. could quickly cost Inverse's Sherman right before the Tiger Tank hits, and it's gonna hit. Oh boy, is it gonna hit. We do get the on-field reinforcement here. And there you go, the Sherman is down. What? The blow here to Inverse. And the Tiger Tank has been sent forward to the battlefield here. And he's running out of victory points. The situation here for Inverse is quite frankly as desperate as it can get. At least there's no people to shoot down this reinforcing aircraft. So this is actually like just a pointless engagement for Azakura to fight, because the unit's just, you know, reinforcing fast and can kill them for free. So it's like just bad engagement. There you go, Tiger Tank moving forwards here.
We are down to 250 points.
Almost got the Pathfinders there. Jaeger's being pushed back as well here. But yeah, like, just no real point in shooting at them while they're still ongoing that ability. Pathfinder's wiped. Moving forward against the Tiger Tank. Back here, reinforcing healing. Also, Inverse has just managed to get back all 3 victory points. Very good for him, obviously. Like, at 61 victory points, he can't really afford for those to be under control of his opponent for much longer. Of course, at this point, if the opponent were to, like, push it all 3, I think using also Breakthrough here, he can rapidly grab them. Paratroops start the building there against a tight... Oh, no! Goodness! Now, that's a Tiger Tank, ladies and gentlemen. But, yeah. And he gained veterancy run from that. Straight to mine there, though. Anti-tank sitting up here. Engineers in trouble. Path onto the building here. Sniper keeps going away here. Grenadiers pushing forwards. South, you've got the Aegis as the depleted paratrooper squad need to retreat before that gets utterly exploded as well here. Paratroopers bleeding out inside the building. Grenadiers pushing forwards here. Could sprint actually here. Tiger Tank slowly moving forwards. Veterans who won. Tiger Tank shooting in the units inside the building. They're still being auto fight the other units. What? Wait, what are you doing? What? Why are you doing, Azakura? He's literally exposing the side armor of the Tiger Tank to the anti-tank gun and the bazooka paratroopers at close range. Like, its side armor is like pretty thick too. What on earth was that? Holy smokes! I have no idea what went wrong there, but it went wrong. Like, that was just... That was like Fury levels of bad Tiger handling. I have no idea what the thought process behind that was. Like, there's no reason to drive up the Tiger Tank that close in the first place, and least of all, to expose the side armor to the intent and the bazooka troopers while firing at the units at the building. I mean, sure, he got the Pathfinders, but, like, he just pissed away a Tiger. Yeah, like, Azakura at this stage has pretty much lost all right to complain about that one scene in Fury. And if they have complained about it in the past, they will need to write a personal letter of apology to the director.
The enemy has taken a victory point.
Anyways, enough about that. But yeah, that was... That was like just a massive throw. Holy smokes. And the Grenadier squad got wiped out here. Things are just falling apart for Azakura in a way that is just explosive. Like, they've been doing so well, and then some, like, just so many bad decisions pile up on each other. Still, though, 5 points to go. Like, if they just push for the points here, go for Breakthrough, I think they can easily win this still. They still got this. They still, I think, have a very good chance of winning this here versus Inverse. Who's just pouring up more paratroopers here. Carbines charging in there against the Germans here. Grenade off.
Where the fuck is he?
Dropping in even more paratroopers. He's just spamming them, which does kind of, to a degree, make sense. And we got more Jaegers out here of Azakura as well. Pioneers got wiped out here. And we got, I think, the M18 Hellcat is just parked on the northern point, interestingly enough. Sniper still at it, by the way. An absolute murdering machine here versus Azakura. Troops sitting out there. The Inverse has just like gotten so such a huge opportunity to come back here. Just thanks, Azakura. Majestically misplaying that Tiger tank. Perhaps pushing 14 Jaegers, they're being bled out. Again, the sniper is just an absolute monster at this point. Do get some smoke to kill. Can you see again? Pushing this point, just pop breakthrough. Pop it. It is exceptionally good. In fact, it might be too good at the moment, but still, could just immediately grab this point right on the spot there, at which point Inverse would immediately lose the game. It seems like Azakura at this point just kinda is like, you know, slept here and can't get up again because, like, this is such an obvious move, but they're not doing it. Perhaps they're not aware how good this is. I don't know, but, like, they could, like, immediately grab this point, at which point, again, it win GG. South here, prepared back the Grenadiers there. Also upgraded the other of the new Jaeger squad with the reconnaissance package. He's about to get wiped out here. Inverse is just trading as many lives as he can for these points. To a near Soviet degree. Grenade shot there, didn't do anything. I mean, another Wirbelwind right now might actually make sense against all this infantry of Azakura, even if, of course, there is still the Jackson.
The enemy holds all victory points.
We're just going for like a lot of grenadiers, equipping them into 40s, just going hard breakthrough on the various points. I mean, there's definitely a lot of choice here Azakura could commit to as Inverse, but so far isn't. Yeah, that sniper is just like a lean, mean killing machine at this point. He's pushing forward to Azakura.
We have 100 points left.
Sniper! Where the fuck is he? Grenadiers ready.
He's pushing in. They could again try and go for the sprint here. So far, it seems like Azakura's not a big fan of sprinting with the Grenadiers either. Going here for it, and again, I mean, these Grenadiers are like pretty good. There we go, veteran 3 Fitch coach, they actually get more health. I'm definitely a bit more tanky with that one. I feel like at this point, they really should also, like, at some point, go for these officer quarters upgrade. Particularly, like, at some point, when they had 4 Grenadier squads, adding the officer quarters to all these 4 Grenadiers would have been very beneficial. But for that matter, like, you know, the Luftwaffe company with all these Jaegers and Wirbelwinds.
Wirbelwind is deploying to the field.
Definitely feels like a bit of an oversight here by Azakura. Could also, like, just deploy smoke along here to, like, cover up for the sniper.
Hold firm. We have only 50 points left.
Oh, sniper's almost dead. Oh, they got the sniper! They got the sniper! The sniper's dead! Holy smokes! That is terrible for Inverse. This might actually be like the opening hit Azakura really needs now to maybe turn this game around. Unless they proceed to, like, make another, like, you know, El Grande throw there. Got more paratroopers, I think, dropping down here. Yes, indeed, it's another paratrooper drop. Inverse is just throwing them in there. Got 33 versus 5 here. And the Jaegers are firing at the ones, firing at the Wirbelwind instead of the one on the point. They're just getting shot for free. Oh god, we got the Hellcat going for the Wirbelwind. Jaeger squad wiped out. Wirbelwind's about to go down as well. He goes hull down again now. Too late again, and now the Hellcat is down. Grenadiers wiped another paratrooper. Like, this is just turning into like a graveyard for paratroopers. Like, good thing this battle never actually happened. Like, the 82nd Airborne would never get ready for Normandy after this. Holy smokes. And there's the paratroopers here. And he's just auto-reinforcing while on the point to contest it. That's just... yeah, that ability, like, just needs to get, like, nerfed hard. But, yeah. Now, this battle has just been utterly bananas up to a certain point. Like, you know, to the degree a good highlight, like, you know, can fight back against us in these kind of, you know, Pathfinder, Sniper, M16 builds. But it really also just shows how not to play your bloody Tigers at all. And how quickly you can just throw away an entire match like that.
We have lost control of a
And the thing is, like, even after losing the Titan, still have options. Ah, nuts. Oh well. At least we actually, like, get an end screen here. So, yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be about. I guess that's for, like, you know, future ranked season stuff. When they get that in, so that's kind of neat. I suppose they got stuff like that planned, but for now, pretty much useless. Still, we can sort of like see here how much the sniper did, like 85 kills. That's like almost 1,000% efficiency. Like really, that sniper's like just, you know, that's like, you know, Medal of Honor level stuff there. So there you go, GG, game over again. Like again, good highlight of how you can fight back against these, like, you know, Pathfinder build squads, go for a lot of gunneers, equip them, go for the Luftwaffe company, and like start pulling out counters for that fast M16, at which point you could typically turn the game more steadily around against your opponent. The Panzer Corps also just being kind of too good, but they certainly have also dealing with that fast German that typically also happens. That's it. There's obviously also some things that Azakura could have been, I think, doing significantly more efficiently amongst other things. Like, you know, upgraded all the grenadiers, could have gone for some of those officer quarters upgrades. I think some of those things would have been very beneficial for Azakura here versus Inverse. Like, again, to help those guys hit Tibetan free, I think all of them, at which point that would also have been much worse news there for Inverse. And I think Inverse definitely went way too hard on the bazookas, leaving themselves quite vulnerable to the gunners. But again, the sniper did do some insane work there, but Azakura also did some work there for Inverse in particular, and just the way that Tiger tank got absolutely thrown away. Like, that was just, you know, Fury level moves, just levels of bad. Like, just holy smoke, just driving right up point blank and then exposing the side armor towards the bazookas and the anti-tank guns. That was just as bad as an employment of the Tiger tank, and they didn't need to proceed to shoot at them. It wouldn't have been able to hit them anyways because of the heavy cover, but, like, you know, that was just absolutely horrendous usage of the Tiger tank. Like, he just drove them straight up to the anti-tank and he could have wiped it and then wiped the paratroopers, but instead, like, yeah, I don't know what wrong there. But all the way, though, still good highlight there. I think, you know, so again, if you are struggling against these Pathfinder builds, and again, they are very, very good, and I very much expect them to get nerfed in some degree here, but still, this should give you an idea of, like, you know, how to, like, at least have some way of countering them as the Wehrmacht. Like, you know, go hard in the Grenadiers, go Luftwaffe, and, you know, go for MP40s, start bleeding them out, and, you know, slowly wear them down. So, hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment. Consider donating our pledge on Patreon, support the Propagandacast and its glorious way effort. Links in the description, or if you haven't already bought Communist 3, you can do so on the link in the comments. Use the code STUK3G there. So thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for a nice episode. Bye.